Hi guys, welcome back, or if you're new to my channel, welcome along, thanks for watching. Today I'm going to do a bit of a species spotlight video about the Corydoras schultzi, or better known as the black Venezuelan cory. I recently bought a load of these from my aquarium and I thought I'd do a bit of research on them, and I thought I'd share that research with you. The first thing I think I'll start with is the naming of this fish. Now, like most people, I think it's called the black Venezuelan cory, and I originally thought it would originate from or its origins would be from Venezuela. I quickly learned that that wasn't the case, so I was a little confused around the naming of the fish, and so I tried to do a bit of research, and I found quite a lot of research behind it, or information documented around it, but a lot of it was conflicting. So I've tried to do my own research and just shared a bit what I found with you guys. Now, I'm no ichthyologist and I've never studied ichthyology at all, so if I am incorrect in what I'm sharing with you, please comment down below and correct me, or share something that you found that maybe contradicts what I'm saying, just so we can all learn a bit off each other. So yeah, so this fish is, like I say, it's the Corydoras schultzi. It's better known as the black Venezuelan cory. Like I've previously mentioned, I thought it would just come from Venezuela. However, having done the research, this fish doesn't actually exist in the wild. Now, there was a German aquarist in the early 90s who was breeding the Corydoras schultzi, or better known as the gold flash cory. That was it, the gold flash cory, and started to notice black coloration coming through in the juveniles, so put them aside and started to breed that line. So, like I say, this isn't a fish that you will find in the wild. Its origins are actually from Peru. The Corydoras schultzi is from Peru. Now, I think some of the name confusion that we see today, like I say, the black Venezuelan cory, comes from another cory. So there's a cory called the Corydoras aeneas, which origins are from Venezuela, and there is a black form of that fish. And I think when this fish, the Corydoras schultzi, the black Venezuelan cory, come into the aquarium trade, sort of like commercially bred in the mid-90s, I think a lot of people initially thought it was this the black form of the Corydoras aeneas, which has never really commercially entered the aquarium hobby. So that's a bit of background where the name confusion comes from, and I hope that clears things up. So like I said, they're not found in the wild like we have them in our aquariums. The origins of the fish, the Corydoras schultzi, are from Peru, and I've read some reports that they think there may be parts of Colombia also that this fish comes from. So we'll talk about the appearance of this cory. It's not the largest cory you can get, but they get quite a good size on them. You know, you can get probably up to 3 inches for these, so they're a sizable cory. Like I say, their body is black, and their fins are dark maroon, almost like a brownish colour. Like the majority of Corydoras, the females are larger than the males, especially when viewed from above. Yeah, and the appearance of them in coloration, that they are black and they have the dark maroon brown fins. The Corydoras aeneas, which is where they get their name confusion from, that black form from Venezuela, they do have a black body, but their caudal fin is like a greyish colour when they've grown up. Juveniles can look very similar, so again, that's probably where some of the confusion comes from. How many would you keep? I would probably keep a minimum of 5 or 6 in a 60-litre aquarium. If you can keep more than that, you'll see far more natural behaviour, more shoaling behaviour. They will just be all-round better fish for your aquarium in more numbers. But like I say, start with 5 or 6 in a minimum of 60 litres. Now, in regards to the tank setup for these fish, you want a fine sand soft substrate, if you like. It's been shown that these these cories are actually susceptible to barbel infection. So if you do have that coarse gravel or sharp rocks along as a substrate and they cut their barbels, then they're more likely to have that infection, which could lead to some health impacts in the aquarium. Not just for them, but you don't want to really get any infections rife in the aquarium. Ideally, you want to have a densely planted aquarium, plenty of driftwood, rocks, plenty of places for them to hide if they want to. I always find if you provide that, you'll see more of the actual fish and more behaviour that you're probably looking for from the fish. They do go up to the surface to breathe some air, so always allow them to do that. Don't block off the surface. Water parameters of this fish, pretty standard for a cory really. 22 to 28 degrees Celsius, pH 6 to 7.5. Preferably on the softer side of things, but they're adaptable, so they will go with a wide range of with water parameters, as long as it's done slowly. You don't want to change things too quickly, so they're relatively easy to look after. Pretty, like I say, pretty standard for a cory really. Feeding these fish, you want to make sure they're having a high quality pellet or high protein live foods, frozen live foods. Don't just feed the community aquarium flake food and assume that the high level fish aren't eating will land on substrate and the cories will eat. Yes, they are seen as scavengers and they go through the substrate, but they need a high quality food. If you're just dropping flake food in for the fish at the top and assuming that the cories will eat what's left, it's not going to be the case. You need to ensure that they are getting their fair share of food. Just drop some live food to the bottom. Like I say, you can use live food or frozen live food and a high quality pellet to ensure that they are getting their fair share. Breeding these fish, you want to make sure the water's clean, the parameters, preferably I find on the softer side of things, making sure they're eating plenty, so they're putting on some real good size. I find for me that's enough. That's what I need to do. Some people find they need to do that cool water change, so you can do a water change, drop the temperature by up to 5 degrees at once on the water change, so it is a cooler water change. You can do that to really get them going, and once you find that it's spawning your tank, they'll continually do it. It's just cracking that case initially. You can add stuff, you can really make breeding scientific if you like, so you can replicate the dry season, so letting the water evaporate off your tank, which increases the TDS, so simulates the dry season in nature, and then by doing that cool water change, they think there's been some heavy rains, introduce RO water, rainwater, to increase that softness, and you can get them to breed that way. All in all, really striking fish. You don't see them that often in the aquarium trade. I'm not sure why, because the people I speak to, that they're really sought after fish. They're easy to breed, but for whatever reason, you don't see them that commonly in comparison with other cories. So again, just add something a bit to them, doesn't it? If they're not all that commonly available. But yeah, I hope that clears up a bit. There's a bit of confusion around the name, but I hope I cleared that up in the beginning of this video. And yeah, if you liked it, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and yeah, I'll catch you on the next one. Thanks guys.